Hello everyone, it is Tsuki and welcome back to the Let's Play. In this video, we're going to be doing something kind of cool, and that is Tam-Tara Deepcroft hard mode. And you might be thinking, well, what's so special about this dungeon? Well, it ties in a very interesting story with some very interesting side characters that we haven't seen in a while, and it actually makes the dungeon one of my favorites, even though the dungeon itself isn't too different from just, your standard dungeon in terms of mechanics. The dungeon is elevated definitely by the story behind it, which I find very interesting. And this is also I believe this is also the 100th video or episode or whatever you want to call it. So yay! Good job to really long series that are really long. I play this game way too much, honestly. But anyways, let's get to it. So we're here in Old Da, and we're going to talk to this NPC. Familiar name if you paid attention to back in Sastasha days, but we'll get into it. Let's do it. And we even get a special cutscene. Am I that famous? Yes, so basically he's saying we met in Sastasha, and that's true. Like, if you paid attention, which I think I made note of it when we did Sastasha way back whenever that was. Holy crap, that was a while ago. But when we did Sastasha, I pointed out there's 4 NPCs that you'll find outside Sastasha, and if you talk to them, they have a little bit of dialogue. There really isn't any quest pointing you in their direction. They just happen to be outside the entrance to Sastasha. And then after you complete the original Tam-Tara at level 16, I think it is, and you complete it and you talk to Mother Mione, or however you pronounce her name, in the Adventurers Guild in Gridania. She'll direct you towards Edda, who will talk to you about how her fiance died and that her party disbanded, and she's gonna try and be a better adventurer and all that. And that's basically the continuation of that story, which it's really cool that they actually ended up like continuing that storyline. It's really kind of weird because it seems like such a minor thing, but it became a really big thing back when this was first released, and I'm really glad that they gave this more attention. So let's continue on with it. Yeah, so just re-explaining what I just talked about. Containing an invitation to her wedding. Really? She joined the Scions. That's the Elizin Archer. So there was Avir and Edda, I think they were both healers, and then Pyoreu was I think a thaumaturge, and then Liavene, or however you pronounce her name, was the archer, and she's an Elizin. And those were the 4 NPCs you could talk to outside of Sastasha. There was also another group of NPCs out there as well, but I don't think they have any other story significance. Oh, really? She... That's unfortunate. She got slain during the raid by the Imperials back in the Scion. I guess that makes sense, back in the Waking Sands. We didn't exactly see eye to eye. Is that because she's like 3 times taller than you? Okay, that's a really bad joke. I'm sorry. Let's go to Eastern Thailand. I'm sorry. Elizins are tall. Elizins are really tall. That guy was looking at me. It's kind of weird. It's funny cuz I'm not huge on YouTube or anything, but every now and then I'll get that one person who just comes up to me and just emotes or sends me a tell, and it's always weird having to finding a way to talk to people who've watched my videos and enjoy them, because it just feels weird to be recognized. I mean, it's not necessarily a bad thing. I just I'm not very socially equipped to handle those sorts of things. But I try my best to be polite in every situation. Look, here's her grave. It's been destroyed, desecrated. I'm surprised she got a proper grave. She blamed herself and we agreed with her. But we all knew full well we were all to blame. Oh, another stoic nod. A little heart to heart between Lalafels. Alright, back to Tam-Tara. I think Bent Branch. Bent Branch is really close to it. Now, I wanted to put the unlocking process and the actual dungeon in the same video, just because it's all part of the story. Also, I left my chocobo in the stable. Oh well, I don't think I'll need it. But more likely than not, I'm gonna get a fairly lengthy queue, so I'll have to edit that out. All right, here we are back in Tam-Tara. What a nostalgia trip. There was a young lady with him dressed head to toe. Wow, he already went in. You just let them in? Okay, you just let them in. Like, all right. Okay. Yeah, it seems oddly suspicious. He was stiff as a board. You just let him in. Okay. Some guard you are. All right. Let's get into queue. 18 minutes. Well, goodness. This is all rather nostalgic though, because I've said this before, but I started playing this. I didn't play the original Final Fantasy 14, and from what I've heard from people who have, that's probably a good thing. I really wanted to when it first came out. I didn't have a good enough PC to play it, so I never did. But like I said, a lot of people say I didn't really miss out on much, which I'm inclined to believe them, hearing how that game was designed. But I did start playing in the closed beta for Final Fantasy XIV's re-release of Realm Reborn, and that was Phase 3, because that was when they started letting PlayStation 3 players play, and you know, I played on the PlayStation 3 at first, which was it was serviceable. You know, you could get by with it. It wasn't the greatest. There was definitely a lot of limitations whilst playing on a PlayStation 3, and the game didn't look that good. And honestly, it probably held back a lot that the developers could do. So I'm totally for them having discontinued the PlayStation 3 support, because it's allowed them to expand, and that's good. But yeah, back then you couldn't get very far. Like, I think you could get to like level 20 max, and then the first handful of dungeons were unlocked, I believe. So you could do Sastasha, Tam-Tara, and Copperbell Mines, I do believe, back then. I don't think Halatali was in there, but it might have been. I don't remember. I actually only did the first 2 dungeons. I only did Sastasha and Tam-Tara back then. And I took a very big interest in Edda, because the first time I just kind of bypassed her, right? And the way the closed beta worked was it was all the servers were only open for like the weekends, and then I think it would wipe your progress, and you'd have to start all over again each weekend. I don't think that was how it worked. I think it just wiped your progress in between phases, so that when going from between phase 3 and phase 4, you would wipe it. But I made several characters basically during the closed beta, and I went through the story several times. The first time I went through it, I didn't pay a whole lot of attention to Edda until after we had that cutscene in Gridania, after we finished Tam-Tara for the first time. I was like, oh. So the second time I paid much more attention, and I noticed them outside the dungeon, and after that I just kind of thought, oh, that's interesting. And so when they actually decided to continue her story with this, I found it very, very fascinating. So yeah, that was a little story time. Anyways, I'm probably gonna have to cut out us waiting for this dungeon, but I'll see you guys when it does queue. See you then. And we're back. We got the queue. It didn't take that long. It only took like another 5 minutes or so after we we cut away. I was actually enjoying a little snack. Now, I know a lot of people don't like Tam-Tara that much, just because it's very well, it's a dungeon, like an actual dungeon. It is a classic looking dungeon. But I don't know, I find that very quaint. I like it. Alright. Let's see, are we doing the big boy pulls or the normal pulls? Alright. I'm totally fine with the normal pulls. We got a samurai as well. I forgot to throw on ACT, but I honestly don't think it matters. What was that? Oh, you know what it is? I totally forgot. I think I have something uploading right now, so that's probably not the best thing to be doing whilst playing this game. Like, doing open world content, not that big of a deal. But when I'm actually in queue, one sec, hold on. Okay, I'm back. I went to pause my upload because I'd rather not lag around whilst I'm in a dungeon. Ooh. Okay. Now you can pull all the way down here, if you want to, in one pull. Wow, I am really surprised that trick attack got off. I was not expecting that to happen. Looks like you can't silence that. Nope, didn't need that. Oh, looks like we're doing a bigger pull this time. Hold on. Let's not walk through this stuff. I wish I had like mantra or something to help out. I don't know if Samurai has their I think they should have their AoE abilities by now. That's the thing about doing large pulls, and the reason why queuing as a tank, like at least for me, is kind of annoying, because you never know the kind of party you're gonna hit. Just some people, just no matter what happens, there could be 8 people on screen. They don't feel like AoE. It's like, all right, that's cool. We'll do this a long way. Like I don't mind doing big pulls. I don't mind going by it one pull at a time. I prefer when people are all on the same page though. So here's Aaliyah Vinay, and obviously she is very much not willing to talk. So there's a big gimmick with this fight, and that gimmick being you don't actually attack the ads. Yeah, you don't. You don't want to attack the ads at all. You just kind of want to stack in the middle, and then you'll get this marker here, and these will kill the ads for you. If you in fact, if you attack the ads, you will kill everybody. Like they'll explode. They'll give vuln stacks to everybody. It'll be great. Tantrum. And I can't wait to get armor crushed. Yeah, back then that used to be a big problem, especially there was a lot of jobs back then that had ground AoEs that you had to put down. So like Shadow Flare, Flaming Arrow. Shadow Flare's still in the game. I think you can nope, you cannot silence that. I swear you used to be able to. Maybe you can just only stun it. Discarded body. Is that supposed to be a Veer's body? Just says discarded body. Is there chanting? Wow, I had never noticed that. Also, the music in this dungeon is especially creepy. I think this is a 2.3 dungeon. I think 2.3 is when they finally started adding more unique tracks to dungeons and having them play constantly throughout, which is really nice. It's a nice touch. There's a bunch of notes around which help fill in the story. Not gonna read them now because I'm gonna get left behind, but maybe after the dungeon's done, I'll come back, because I haven't read those notes in a long time, so. Multi-dotting is real. Oh no, I got hit with curse. It's all because I wanted to get my Doton down. Is the Samurai not here? Yeah, I think that's why. Samurai was AFK or something. Like, why is this taking so long? Yeah, whoever touches the coffin or whatever it is also gets terrored for like a handful of seconds. Alright, some AoE. Coming up on the second boss, I don't think the second boss isn't that bad. I think you just have to I think Ryu is actually in the middle of the room, and you have to make sure he doesn't die. There'll just be a bunch of orbs that spawn on the outer rims of the arena, and you just have to basically run into them and intercept them before they reach him. Otherwise he'll die if he takes too much damage. And other than that, it's actually pretty simple. There's another spare body. Alright, looks like the healer's got that one. It's best for the ranged DPS to do it, so that, you know, melee can stay in range. But we don't have any ranged DPS, so I'll gladly take up that mantle to make sure that we don't wipe. Now there'll be bigger orbs that spawn. You can take one of them, like as a DPS or a healer. Like, it'll be completely fine. I'll take this one. Oh, there's stuff. I don't actually care about the gear in here. Maybe there's some nice glamour, I don't know. I kind of have an idea of the type of glamours I want to use, though, for this character. And I don't really need any of these crafting materials. I don't think Samurai has to really worry. I don't think Samurai has positionals yet. I don't think they have their Kenki gauge yet. That's kind of nice. I remember when I first unlocked Samurai, I was like, holy crap, I don't have to worry about positionals? Well, no, you do. In fact, it feels really bad not to get your positionals. Just like, it's actually not that bad not hitting your positionals, but it feels bad when you don't hit your positionals. It feels like you miss trick attack every time you miss a positional. At least that's how I feel. It's not quite to that extent, but it feels that way sometimes. Yeah, there's all these little white orbs that just kind of float around. They just kind of float around and explode. There's really nothing you can do about it other than just try your best to dodge them. I think more ads spawn as well, the more you do to the second demon. Wow, apparently I broke combo sometime. Yeah, they're the ads. I mean, as the healer, you'll probably get the majority of the aggro. You just move closer to the tank and then let him pick him up, and it's actually not that bad. And there we go. We do actually tread a lot of the same ground in this dungeon as well as the original. Isn't that adorable? You can actually get that as a mount. Actually, I don't know if you get the exact version. It's like very white. Man, this dungeon is so neat. Oh, we going? Well, it looks like the samurai is back there. Also, we have lots of laughter. What's so funny? Now this fight isn't actually that bad. Like, I think it's mostly just killing ads before they reach the middle. There seems to be a big thing about not reaching the middle. They're grooms to be. I don't know why, but I get the sneaking suspicion that I'm going to be the only ones attacking these ads. Note the scholar's got my back. Now, depending on how many ads make it to the middle, depends on how much her red wedding attack does. And if too many make it to the middle, it'll basically wipe the party, or at least everyone except the tank, depending on how many make it. I think you can safely have 2 or 3 make it and still be okay for the most part. Depends on how geared you are, I suppose. Oh look, you're attacking an ad. Good job. Glad I'm not the only one. You attacked one. I mean, I'll take what I can get. Yay, we did it! We killed a Veer! Again. Poor guy. He died twice. Well, so did Livy something. Oh, and there she goes. This is also one of those rare times where we don't celebrate at the end of a dungeon or fight. Thanks for help with the ads. I mean, that's kind of what the DPS are supposed to be doing. Like how it's like, oh no, it's the healer who's supposed to be killing the ads. All right, let's finish up this story here. So yeah, Pyoreo made it here before us, right? And then he goes in with Edda, and then we see him in the second boss, where he's kind of bound in place, and we kind of work to make sure he doesn't die. And then after that, he just kind of splits. I mean, I don't blame him or anything. He just kind of splits. So we're meeting him back here again. That face, okay. Alright. Now that actually, as a nice continuation to the story, it's really sad seeing Edda become insane, and basically everyone in her party ends up dead except for Pyoreu in the end. But that's actually not the last we'll see of Edda. She actually, there's a little bit more story with her in Palace of the Dead, which we will get to at some point. I wanted to wait to do Palace of the Dead because you can unlock Palace of the Dead really early. Actually, you can unlock it as soon as like, I think as soon as like level 20-ish. Like you get the quest to unlock it very early on, and we looked at it a while ago, but I didn't want to unlock it then because I wanted to do this first because it makes the most sense in chronological order to do this first. So yeah, that was Tam-Tara Deepcroft hard mode. The dungeon itself not too particularly special in terms of mechanics, but again, it's just it's the backstory and all the story in it that makes it a lot more interesting. I also totally forgot to go check the notes out. That kind of sucks. Oh well. Well, if you want to learn more, I'm sure you could probably look online of somebody checking out the notes. They are very interesting. It's been a while since I read them, so I don't actually remember what they say, but it helps detail Edda's reasoning and how she ended up doing all these bad ritual type stuff. So it's very interesting, and it's kind of sad to see as a character kind of go insane like that, even though we've seen plenty of characters just straight up die. But you know, it is what it is, and it I don't think they actually intended for the Edda storyline to even take the turn that it did. I think it's just because there was a lot of interest from the player base about Edda that they ended up incorporating a story with her in Tam-Tara, and then later again in Palace of the Dead. So I think that's really cool that they did that, and she became kind of like a fan favorite story and a fan favorite character. So it was nice to see a little more story with her and get a little bit of closure, although we're not quite done with her story just yet. But anyways, that was Tam-Tara hard mode. Hopefully you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next video, whatever that ends up being. So thank you again, and I'll see you guys in another video. Sayonara, bye bye.